If you're dreaming of coming to abroad to spend life in diaspora, or if you're already living in diaspora, this video is for you. Have you ever wondered how life will be in abroad? Are you dreaming of good life all the time? That abroad is always partying every day, ice creams all the time, bed of roses, always singing, everyday salad, beautiful weather, no troubles. If this sounds like you, stay with me to the end of this video because in this video, we're going to compare and contrast reality of living abroad versus life at home and also the fantasies that we dreamed of before we got here. All right, stick around because the reality will shock you. Okay, let's get to it. Let's talk about dressing. Simple dressing or complex dressing. For most of us, before moving abroad, people thought, or maybe have this expectation of, since it's abroad, maybe we need to dress um, your best. You have to dress fancy, flashy. All that is not bad. Back home in Africa, if you're going for an event, even to church, you need to dress and put out your best. I mean, the best of your clothes. Very colorful, stylish. I mean, the women like to put on our headgears. Um, my people call it the duku. And Nigerian people call it the jellies. Oh, those are so nice. I love the Nigerians' head wrap. They put it on, come to church looking their best, and everybody go, oh, you have dress. Going to parties is another dressing. They have dress codes, going to parties, and yeah, you have to look your best. So you probably thinking you have coming abroad, you have to dress flashy. Reality is, most people abroad dress very simply. The Westerners are very simple, casual dressing, just want to wear comfortable clothes, keep it simple usually, especially in America, they'll wear the jeans, t-shirts, throw it on, call it a day. Because their main thing is, wherever they're going, their interest is to get there on time. They don't have time putting on all these. Of course, if you go to your weddings, they do dress, but maybe not as flashy as the African weddings. The African weddings pull it off. I mean, they have expensive gowns and clothes, and everybody pull up in their best. Let's talk about food. Expectation probably is you're gonna come to abroad, get out of the streets, buy food, because back home you can be on the streets and get any food that you want, and most of the foods are healthy. I mean, most of our foods that are on the streets are well cooked, similar to how we cook it at home, probably cheaper, more affordable than you buying the ingredients home to cook. So you're thinking maybe when you come abroad and the outside food is going to cost cheaper and the same thing. Well, newsflash, when in abroad, fast foods are very cheap. Yeah, to be honest, very cheap depending on which food you're buying. But the restaurants are usually more expensive compared to the fast foods. But in general, most people cook because usually the fast foods are not too healthy or maybe they may not be to your taste. So you might want to cook your food. And most people end up buying fast food anyways because of time. You have to be at work on time, you have to be here on time. So there's no time, there's little to no time to cook our African foods that take hours to cook. So just buy the food and off you go. Another reality is that most people cook. If you want to be healthy and save more money, it's best that you cook. Find time, go to the grocery store and cook. That's what most people do. They cook. Some have pre-cooked meals in the grocery stores. Buy them, throw it in the oven, cook it, call it a day. Or if you're an African, what most Africans do, they go get a day off. On your day off, they go to the grocery store, buy the ingredients, come home, cook it, put it in the fridge. That should last them about a week or a couple of days, just to save time. Another thing that you probably might be wondering about is talking. Apart from accents that you need to Over time, once you move abroad, learn and polish it up, the tone of your voice also matters. Back home in Africa, when you go to the market, it's very loud. Everybody's hawking, screaming. You can see somebody go, "Hey, Abena, I haven't seen you in years," and then start talking, and nobody cares. Nobody cares. Loudness is normal. It is the norm back home in Africa. You can scream, even somebody on the phone, ring, ring, they're screaming very loud, talking on top of their voices, and nobody usually cares. You can be talking very loud on phone, in the car, wherever you are, and nobody really cares. So you're probably wondering, once you move abroad, you can probably do the same thing. The reality is, the Western culture is very soft spoken. And if you speak very loud, sometimes it's considered a threat or inappropriate. So if you're in a public area, let's say you're in a grocery store, and then all of a sudden the phone rings and then you take it out and you're talking like you're back home, everybody or most people will turn around and look at you like, "Hey, bruh, what's going on?" Or we say, "What's wrong with this person?" They may not speak it out to you, but the way they will look at you will give you the message. It will give you the message: dial it down, down, down. Speak calmly on a low tone voice, because that's the culture in the Western world. You cannot be loud. You can't be loud. I mean, it's not part of that culture. If you want to stay loud, and probably do that anytime you go home to Africa, but in abroad, it is soft spoken and you dial it down. The next thing to talk about is punctuality. Being punctual is very important. Probably thinking expectation is, being late for a couple of minutes, it's probably okay. Back home in Africa, nobody cares about the time. When you say 10 o'clock, you can show up at 11 o'clock and nobody cares. It, I think the time back home in Africa is just some numbers that we put out there just to get a time for getting a time's sake. We don't really respect the time. You can pull up. If it's 10 o'clock, you can be there at 10:30, 10:45. Somebody can come to a meeting with it scheduled at 10 back home at about 10:45. And then when you go, "Oh, I thought the meeting was supposed to be at 10," you're like, "Oh," my people will be like, "I feel now about 10:45. I feel now about 10:45." There's a difference between 10 a.m. and 10:45 a.m. And if you try to say anything, they'll be like, "Oh, you're too low with your horn," and all that stuff. So people really get away with it. We really don't care about time. So you're thinking, you can probably do the same thing in abroad. In abroad, punctuality is very serious. It is taken very seriously. 10 o'clock is 10 o'clock. Even if you're 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes late, it is considered disrespectful. You have to be very respectful of your time. If you know you cannot make the 10 o'clock, let them know when you're scheduling anything, especially for meetings, for work, for interviews, for job interviews. I will not stress this enough. Job interviews, if you know that you cannot make it, let them know ahead of time. Because guess what? They will be ready for you. They'll be ready for you by 9:30 a.m. So you better show up. If you know you cannot make it, let them know. Send them an email, give them a call, so that they will readjust or reschedule the time. Do not pull up anytime, anyhow you want it and expect things to run. It will not be appreciated. And the consequences might be depending on whatever the meeting was. If it was a job interview, just know that you don't have a job. You will not even be considered for the job. If it's a doctor's appointment and you're late, usually doctor's appointment, up to 15 minutes is kind of okay. You can be seen, but anytime after 15 minutes, you will have to reschedule. They will automatically reschedule you. So please be punctual with your time. If you're thinking of moving abroad, these are some of the things you should take note, start working on it. If you're already in abroad and you're struggling with this, work on it, get it going, because time is very essential. Next thing we're going to talk about is the church service. Back home in Africa, we go to church and we could be there for hours. I mean, hours. You'll be there Sunday. Maybe the church is supposed to start at 10. Probably may not start until maybe 10:30. You will be there for 3-4 hours. Service will be done, and then sometime the announcement is another church service. Like announcement takes another 40 minutes, 1 hour, whatever. And then after church, sometimes the different societies also meet. It's like almost the whole day in church. So you're thinking, if you're back home and you're dreaming of, okay, the expectation is probably maybe similar. We're going to go to church, have fun, be there for hours. No. In the Western world, church is more structured. Like I said before, time is very, very important. They keep time seriously. People have things to do. Even in Sundays, people go to work. So if the church is 1 hour it is. Usually, the Western world, they wrap up if it's from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. by 10:50, it's done. Done. Church is closed, including announcement and everything that needs to be done. It's done and we're closed. The most church I've seen is usually maybe 2 hours and half hours, but not usually no more than that. If you keep your churches too long, people will start leaving because guess what? They have other schedules. They have other things to go to. They have other places to be. It's the weekend. Mind you, in the Western world, it's usually Monday to Friday jobs. So on the weekends, that's when they have their family time and other things to do. So if you're keeping too long in church, expect people to leave. They will start walking off. You'll probably be thinking, oh, they don't have respect. No, they're respectful of their time. So next off is men and house chores. Back home in Africa, men do not help with house chores at all. When they're younger, maybe. But as they're older and they are working, they start working outside of home, they don't. Because in our culture, in most of the African culture, house chores is labeled as the female responsibility. It's for the mothers, it's for the girls, it's for the daughters, the sisters to do. Men, don't worry about it. The female got it. So if you're expecting to have the same thing happen to you in the Western world, you must be dreaming. It's a dream. Why do I say that? Because in the Western world, as much as both men and women are all working, so most men help out in the kitchen. Sometimes your wife could be working a night shift, you work day shift. When you come home, maybe your wife has gone to work. So, are you going to eat and leave your dishes till the next day? You need to help out because guess what? When your wife comes home from work from her night shift, she is tired. She's getting ready to sleep and get ready for the next shift. So, if you are just going to fold your hands and watch your wife do everything, she's going to get burned out. And that could affect your relationship over time. So, if you're a man back home dreaming of coming to the Western world, please beg your mother or any female around you to show you how to cook. Beg them. Humble yourself and beg them. You're going to need it. You're going to thank them later because you can't be buying food all the time. Sometimes buying food outside is expensive. And then also another thing is you're going to buy the food, you bring it home, and then in the initial stages, especially when you come to the Western world in the early months, it tastes different. Your taste buds are not used to that yet. You're used to the soup, you're used to okpa, you're used to fufu and soup, you like your bangkwai, you like the rice and stew, with the pepper, you want your kenke, you want your kush. So learn how to cook. It will save your life. It will save you once you travel abroad. You're going to need it. Even if you're coming with your wife or your girlfriend or you're coming home to a family that's already abroad, they will not be there to cook for you 24/7. You need to help out because everybody's busy. Life is busy. Life is busy abroad. So you need to help out. wash the dishes. Sometimes you have to scrub the bathroom. I mean, sweep, take the trash out. The things you'll be doing as a man, and that's okay because that's what the reality is abroad. So if you're still, especially for the African men, if you still have the African mentality, abroad may not favor you. You may have to have a rethink. But if you're able to adjust and learn, it's gonna favor you, and you're gonna be okay. Let's talk about inheritance in abroad versus inheritance in Africa. In Africa, it's usually large inheritances. We have large properties being shared to other family members, and most of them are very cultural. That's good. I mean, that should be respected. So don't expect, especially let's say you're coming abroad and an uncle of yours is sending you the invite or adopting you to come overseas so you can better your life. Don't expect that your uncle's property, especially in my tribe, the property of the uncle usually goes to the nephews, as tradition demands. I'm pretty sure things are changing, but that's the old tradition. Correct me if I'm wrong. So don't come there if you belong to that tribe, the Ashanti tribe. Don't come in with that expectation going, oh, me wa media. Okay, that's true in the statement. It may be true in Africa, but once you come down here, that statement does not hold. In fact, the moment you get on the plane and it takes off and you pass Atlantic Ocean, drop that mentality quick because it doesn't hold. It's not going to hold. Here, inheritance is usually on a small scale basis, usually man and wife, and people do their will. People will make their will, they write down their will however they want things to be distributed after they're gone. And the government or the law respects that. That will be obeyed till the latter. Once people make their will, that's what they're going by. Unless that uncle of yours included you in the will, there is nothing for you. You can't come up going all big and saying, and back home, that's how we do it. Yes, we do that back home, but not in the Western world. In the Western world is a no-no. And also bear in mind, if you are lucky to get any inheritance, like God love you, you get a share of your inheritance, you can jump and hop, but also know that any property that you get comes with a bill, except maybe that you get a car. Let's say you get a car and the car is paid off. You still need to get insurance on that car, on that vehicle. You cannot drive the vehicle without an insurance. It's just what it is. So if you're inheriting a house and it's a big house, it comes with a bill. In fact, your uncle can dash you a house, but just be ready to also pay the bills that come with it. If you cannot afford to pay the bills and the taxes on all those properties, you stand a chance to lose it again. Okay, so it's very different when it comes to inheritance. It can be very different. So now this point is very interesting. Talking to kids or children, as I may put it, talking to children back home in Africa is very different from talking to children or kids in the Western world. Back home, in the Western world, we talk to kids anyhow. We can say, hey, yeah. I mean, how we even call them? We call your mom calls you and you and it's like you want to jump, like you've done something. They call you, hey, yeah, brah. Like the force that they call you better hear and run. If you hear your mom or dad calls you, it's like you are being summoned to court. You need to run. So whatever you're doing, you better bring yourself there within the next 3 seconds. And they talk to you, usually they're giving you a command or, telling you something. And if you're wrong, you're probably expecting a punishment. In abroad, things are different. You don't talk to kids like that. Abroad, they're like, hey, honey, how was your day at school? Any issues you want us to talk about? You are going to find out, especially if you're new in abroad or you're dreaming of coming abroad. Those who live in abroad already are already experiencing that. So You're already aware of what I'm saying. The kids will come from school and you like, hey, honey, how was your day? You talk to them, you maybe help them with their homework. If they have any issues, probably set up an appointment, go back to the school, meet the principal or talk to the teacher, discuss things. You are involved in your child's life. You need to see them off at the bus stop, get them off the bus stop after school. You have to be there at least 90%, 90% of the time for your kids, especially if they're under the age of 18. Wherever they go, you have to be with them. You are their guardian. You are their guardian. It's in abroad that you realize that, hey, you are really a shepherd. Like, you are responsible for your child. You brought this person into the world. You're 100% responsible for this child. Wherever they go, because guess what? They can't drive yet. So you have to drive them to extracurricular activities. If they're in sports, you need to drive them. Sometimes you have to stay throughout the sport program and then drive them back home. If you drop them off, you need to go back and get them. So raising kids here, that is another video that I could make. Okay. So it's not like back home that your mom will send you, hey, yeah, go down the street, go buy me some tomatoes and come. You cannot do that in the Western world. It's not okay. It's not okay. They are considered minors, especially when you're under 18 years old, to be by themselves. Right, moving on. Let's talk about transportation. Are you probably expecting transportation to be very something similar like back home? Back home things are improving now. I'm watching these things on YouTube and I'm loving how Africa is picking up. Africa is really doing a good job, and I'm so proud. I'm so proud. I'm so happy to see those development. But for the most part, transportation is public. In my country, we call it trotro. I know the Nigerians sometimes they call the motorcycles okada. Depending on where you're from, you have your own name that you call. So if you have to go anywhere, just stand by the street, get a taxi, get a public transportation. Off you go, get off, and then sometimes when you're in this thing, it stops at every junction. Somebody wants to get off, somebody wants to get off, all that. Um, in abroad, they have buses, and the buses leave on time. When it's 10 o'clock, then it has to leave, it will leave. The next one will probably leave at 11. It does not matter whether there's one person in the bus when it's time to leave or there is nobody in the bus. When it's time, the bus will leave. So if you know you're going to catch a bus that leaves at 10, you better be there latest 9:50 because at 10 o'clock, not 10:01, 10 o'clock, that bus is leaving and it's going to leave you. So things are more organized, structured. They leave on time, and the roads, of course, the roads are well done to ease traffic. The big cities can be more congested, especially in the rush hour around 4 p.m., between 4 and 6 rush hour, or between 7 and 8 or 9. There could be rush hour, but for the most part, they have all these big highways. The roads are pretty smooth. I mean, there's some spots that are bad roads, but for the most part, roads are pretty cool to drive on. Mostly people drive themselves versus public transport, just depends on where you are. So if you're thinking of coming abroad and you don't know how to drive, that's something you need to look into. You need to go learn how to drive. And if you already know how to drive, good, it's a plus. Come in and then you should be able to fit it. And if you come in, just obey the rules on the roads, speed limits, and all that stuff. Because if you mess up on the road, you will get a ticket. Okay. Final thing to talk about is the social life. Back home, we're all very communal. Everybody is everybody's friend and neighbors. We behave as families. So if you're thinking, if your expectation was abroad, it will be something similar. Not quite. In the Western world, the culture, the social life is more more of a single thing. They don't have that much of a community thing. If you need help, just call the police. Everybody's minding their business. It's kind of lonely. You're going to feel lonely, especially coming from the African culture that almost everybody's friend, everybody cares. You can meet somebody down the road and ask, hey, where is Mr. So and so's house? And they will point it out to you or even walk you there. People have time for people. They will help you out. If you see an old person holding stuff, they will run, especially younger generations. They will go help this old person out to carry this stuff back to their home and back. That is not what the life is in the West. So just have that in mind, something to think about. So when you come or you're already here, you're already in abroad and living it, you shouldn't be surprised. It is just the way things are. People are just mind their business. If you have anything of concern, just call the police. Okay. So what you can do if you're an African person, this loneliness is going to be like, it's going to feel weird. It's going to feel weird. At first, it will feel so weird that you will probably want to go back. But just stay, take it day by day, and you'll get used to it. You may probably not get used to it 100%, but you find ways around it. Or join some societies that maybe from Africa, just join them, and you will get somehow used to it as time goes. So there you have it. 10 realities that most Africans face when moving abroad or when living abroad. So out of those 10 that we've discussed so far, which one shocked you the most? Just drop a comment in the comment section, like, share this video, and let me know what you think. And I will see you in the next video. Just know that living abroad is not always what people expect or people dream about or people hope for, but it couldn't be the worst. Just know that abroad will shape you, it will teach you lessons that you never ever thought you would learn. So just be open to learning and take it day by day, and you will be surprised in about 2 to 5 years to come how you have changed and adapted. All right. Thank you for watching. Take care. Stay safe. God bless. And I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.